And good afternoon, everyone. This is the time set for first appearances. And the first case on this docket is State of Kansas versus Bianca Lynn Lago, 23 CR 331. And good afternoon, Miss Lago. Miss Lago, you are charged by way of information count one, on or about November 12, 2023 in Butler County, Kansas, with traffic and contraband in a correctional institution, a level 6 non-person felony. You're charged in count two, same date and location, possession of controlled substances, a class A non-person misdemeanor. Count three, same date and location, domestic battery, a class B person misdemeanor. And count four, you're charged, same date and location, criminal damage to property, a window, a class B non-person misdemeanor. And Ms. Lago, do you understand the charges pending against you?
Yes.
Ms. Lago, you do have the right to counsel. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed to represent you. And Ms. Lago, are you currently employed?
Yes.
What type of work do you do?
I work from home for a carpet cleaning company. I schedule their appointments.
And do you work full-time or less, part-time? How many hours about do you work a week?
Full time, 40 hours a week.
And what's your rate of compensation?
16 an hour.
$16 an hour. Do you have money put back to retain an attorney? Pardon me?
No.
No? All right, at this point in time where you do not have the current financial wherewithal, the court does appoint counsel to represent you. Court does appoint Jim Watts to represent you at all stages of the proceedings. Jim Watts is appointed to represent you at all stages of the proceedings. Now, however, at time of disposition of your case, whether it's by trial, whether it's by plea, the court may make a finding for reimbursement of counsel to let you know. So if you do wish to retain someone else and there's other means and method other than your own personal wealth, you may wish to do that. Subsequently, the court does schedule your next hearing by Zoom, on Monday, February 26, 2023 at 2:30 before Judge Satterfield. Monday, December 26, 2023, 2:30 before Judge Satterfield by Zoom. Next item of business, the court does need to set appropriate bond. I found out that you are working remotely for a carpet cleaning company. What's the name of your company?
OxyFresh.
Okay. And where do you currently reside? What's your address?
323 Randall and Potwin.
And that was Potwin, City of Potwin?
Yes.
And do you have family that reside in Butler County, Kansas?
Outside of my husband, no.
And your husband's name?
Josh Lego.
Okay. And is he currently living at the home address?
Yes.
Okay. Recommendations for bond, Mr. Aguirre?
Forgive me, Your Honor, I appear to have been previously muted. In this particular instance, Your Honor, 1,500 cash or surety with all standard conditions, including no contact with the victim and no drugs or alcohol. As the court has already noted, this is a case where there's already a felony charge. However, my understanding is this is the defendant that has little to no prior conviction history, so the requested amount would appear appropriate. Given the defendant's admission on the record that she has little, if any, ties to Butler County, the state would further recommend that the defendant shall not leave Butler County during the pendency of this case, including the no contact with the victim, as well as no drugs or alcohol.
The court does adopt the recommendations of the state, Ms. Lago, with the exception, it appears that you have no particular criminal history prior hereto. The court does find that you and your husband reside in Potwin. Subsequently, the court does find ties to the community, that you are gainfully employed, and therefore the court does order you to, on a bond, your bond is set at $1,500, but I'll let you sign your own bond, be an OR bond for yourself. I do make a condition of that bond that you check in weekly by telephone to court services, that you check in weekly to court services until the disposition of the case. That phone number, and I think there's someone there at the jail that can write this down. The phone number you check in with is 316-322-4153. 316-322-4153. That'd be a weekly check-in with court services so that the court knows that you are still within the jurisdiction of the court. The court does adopt the recommendation of no contact with the alleged victims herein, and if there were any co-defendants herein. But the court does allow travel outside of Butler County, Kansas. The court does order you to the confines of the state of Kansas. Any other matters to come before the court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
I'm just confirming the next court date. I got a December and a February.
Well, I may have incorrectly stated that. The next date is for the felony preliminary hearing control docket, Monday, December 26, 2023 at 2:30 before Judge Satterfield. Monday, December 26, 2023, 2:30 before Judge Satterfield. I apologize if I misspoke. Ms. Lago, do you have any questions?
So can I stay in Wichita with my parents, or do I
Yes.
have? Okay.
You may not go outside the confines of the state of Kansas, but I'm not restricting you to Butler County, Kansas. So for instance, you're not able to travel outside of Kansas unless the court modifies your bond condition. And that would take a motion back before the court. You would get a hold of Mr. Watts if you wish to do that. So you may go and live with your parents, Sedgwick County, Kansas. What is their address?
817 South Vassar.
817 South Vassar, Wichita, Kansas. Thank you, Ms. Lago. Anything further, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, if the court is also ordering as a condition of the 1,500 OR bond, no drugs or alcohol, my office is satisfied.
That is correct.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The court does order condition of bond. You do not have possession of any illegal drugs or alcohol. Do you have any question about that, Ms. Lago? There being nothing further to come before the court is in recess. Have a good day. Next case on first appearance docket, State of Kansas versus Christian Eugene Nunz, 23 CR 332. Good afternoon, Mr. Nunz.
Good afternoon.
Sir, you're charged by information, count 1, on or about November 11, 2023 in Butler County, Kansas, with identity theft, a level 8 non-person felony. Count 2, same date and location. You're charged with identity theft, a level 8 non-person felony. The first one was in regards to Casper Kirk's name. Count 2 is in regards to Jacob Sindrich, driver's license number. Count 3, same date and location, possession of fentanyl, a level 5 drug felony. Count 4, same date and location, interference with law enforcement, a level 9 non-person felony. Count 5, same date and location, theft, a class A non-person misdemeanor. And that is all that you're charged with at this time. Do you understand the charges pending against you?
Yes, sir.
You do have the right to counsel. If you do not afford an attorney, one would be appointed to represent you. Are you currently employed?
No, sir.
How long has it been since you worked?
Wow.
Do you have any savings to retain an attorney?
No, Your Honor.
Based on your lack of financial wherewithal, the court does appoint Jim Watts to represent you at all stages of the proceedings. Jim Watts is appointed to represent you at all stages of the proceedings. Next item of business is to set your next appearance date before the court, and subsequently the court sets this matter back before myself on Monday, February 5, 2024 at 2:30. Monday, February 5, 2024 at 2:30 by Zoom hearing at that time. Monday, February 5, 2024 at 2:30 before myself by Zoom. Next item of business is to take up appropriate bond. And Mr. Nunz, what is your current address?
Currently, I stay with my grandpa in Wichita, Kansas.
What is his name and address?
His name is Frell Steele. His address is 1949 South St. Francis.
And how long have you been residing with your grandfather?
I've been living with my grandpa for the past year.
And do you have any family that reside in Butler County, Kansas?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
All right. And where was your last workplace?
Actually, yes, I do have a family that resides in Butler County, I believe.
Who is that and what is their city of residence?
Richard Watts, he stays in Augusta.
Do you know his address?
I believe it's 119170 South Indianola Road. It's on Indianola Road. Okay.
Okay. And that's your brother, correct?
My grandpa.
Your grandpa. So this is another grandpa?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this would be your paternal grandfather?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good.
Hey, Judge,
Yes.
I'm sorry, what was the address of Berlin Steel?
What was his address, sir?
1949 South St. Francis.
in Wichita.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Do you know your zip code?
Yeah. 67203.
Thank you. And recommendations for bond, Mr. Aguirre.
Your Honor, Your Honor, in this particular instance, the state is recommending 3,500 cash or surety with all standard conditions, including no contact with illegal drugs, as well as no contact with Andover rental or any other listed victims. I believe the affidavit specifically speaks to certain issues regarding that. Additionally, this is a case where a number of felonies are charged, so the state does believe the request to be most appropriate. The state would further request as a special condition of the bond that the defendant not leave the state of Kansas during the pendency of this case. Besides acknowledging he has little, if any, ties to Butler County, this defendant does appear to have a history of at least one prior failure to appear, most recently within the last 2 years approximately.
Thank you, Mr. Aguirre. And Mr. Nunz, the court does find that a cash or surety bond is appropriate. Subsequently, I believe that the conditions of bond as set forth on the record by Mr. Aguirre are appropriate in this case, and the court does order the same. And subsequently, the court does set overall a $3,500 cash or surety bond. $3,500 cash or surety bond. Once again, your case is next set back before me, and that would be on, once again, Monday, February 5, 2024 at 2:30 by Zoom. Mr. Nunz, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
There being nothing further to come before the court is in recess. Have a good day. And next case is, I think we're finished out at the jail. Thank you for your help.
Yes, we are, Your Honor. Have a good one.
You too. And the next case is Andrew Lynn Huffman. Andrew Lynn Huffman. And I'll check with court security. Anyone?
Hello.
Yeah, wait. Okay, we've got Andrew Lynn Huffman. We see you, Mr. Huffman.
Yes,
Good
sir.
afternoon.
Sorry, I have to use the headphones because my phone's messed up.
Oh, that's fine. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Huffman, your case is entitled State of Kansas versus Andrew Lynn Huffman, 23 CR 329. Good afternoon once again, Mr. Huffman. You are charged by way of information in count 1 on or about November 4, 2023 in Butler County, Kansas, with possession of methamphetamine, a level 5 drug felony. Count 2, you're charged same date and location with possession of marijuana after 2 or more priors, a level 5 drug felony. Count 3, you're charged same date and location with possession of paraphernalia for use, a class B non-person misdemeanor. Count 4, you're charged same date and location, no driver's license in possession, an unclassified non-person misdemeanor. And Mr. Huffman, those are the charges pending against you. Do you understand the charges?
I understand that, but that's not what they told me I was charged with at the jail. The first charge anyway, it wasn't methamphetamines.
Yeah, the first charge is possession of methamphetamine. That's a level 5 drug felony. And count 2 is possession of marijuana after 2 or more priors to level 5. Once again, drug felony. And count 3, possession of paraphernalia for use, class B, non-person misdemeanor. Count 4, no driver's license in possession, unclassified non-person misdemeanor. So whatever you may have been told out at the jail, it may be that a charge was in the discretion of prosecution was added. Maybe something was deleted. I don't know. This is what's filed with the court at this time.
Okay.
Mr. Huffman, you do have the right to counsel if you cannot afford an attorney. One would be appointed to represent you. Are you currently employed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where do you work?
For a fiber splicing company,
Could
with
you
family.
repeat that? Could you repeat that, please?
It's a fiber splicing company, your fiber optic technologies.
Fiber Splicing Technology Company.
Yes, Your Honor.
And once again, the name of that?
The name of his company, Arc Fusion Technologies.
Could you repeat that one more time?
Arc, ARC, Fusion Technologies.
Thank you, Mr. Huffman. What is your approximate salary or wage?
$20 an hour, but I work a lot of overtime.
So you work for $20 an hour and you work typically past 40 hours a week. Is that correct?
I mean, at least while the weather's permitting.
Okay, well, based on your wage of $20 an hour, based on full-time, if not more, in overtime employment at this point, the court finds you do not qualify for counsel. Now, you may retain whomever you wish to represent you herein. The court does set your next appearance date before Chief Judge Rickey, and that would be on Monday, December 18, 2023 at 2:30. Monday, December 18, 2023 at 2:30 before Chief Judge Rickey. That would be by Zoom. Monday, December 18, 2023, 2:30 before Chief Judge Rickey. You do need to be present by Zoom hearing at that time. You have already posted bond in the amount of $2,500 cash or surety, subject to the conditions of bond as set forth therein. The court has approved that bond. The court finds that your address was set at 213 South Willow Avenue, Sugar Creek, Missouri, 64053. Your phone number 316-796-2860.
The phone number is incorrect. The address is correct.
What is your current phone number?
That's 913-201-1003.
Thank you, Mr. Huffman. Anything further, Mr. Regier?
Yes, Your Honor. If the court is approving the 2,500, what appears to be the professional surety bond, it appears to specifically list under special conditions, quote, no drugs or alcohol. The state would respectfully request the court re-emphasize that. Additionally, given that the defendant does appear to be residing at an out-of-state address, I'm not sure if the court wants to make any special orders in line with that at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Regier. The court does impose all of the conditions of bond. Are you currently residing at the 213 South Willow Avenue, Sugar Creek, Missouri?
Yes, but I'm actually in Kansas and Dodge City working right now on a contract.
So what's your address in Dodge City, Kansas?
I'm staying at a hotel out here, but this job will be over in like 2 or 3 weeks.
And what's the name of your hotel there?
It's the Windsor.
The Windsor Hotel. Okay, that's your current temporary address while you've got this contract work
Correct.
going.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
The I think it is appropriate for you to check in on a regular basis with court services. You may do this by telephone. You're currently living out of state, and that's the reason the court is conditioning your bond on you checking in with what's called a court service officer weekly and just advise them of where you're working, where you're residing. You may be moving to a new job. The court wants you to stay gainfully employed, but in order to facilitate the the fact that you're residing out of state, working in Kansas, and on somewhat of a temporary basis as your work requires. Do you have a pencil and piece of paper where you can write this number down?
I've got my phone here. One
Okay,
second.
tell me when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Okay, immediately after this hearing, and then every week, I do order you to contact what's called court services at 316 322 4153. 316 322 4153. Check in with court services, advise what your current job location is, your current place that you're residing, and you need to once again appear before Chief Judge Rickey on Monday, December 18, 2023 at 2:30.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions, Mr. Huffman?
Not at this time.
Okay. Anything further, Mr. Regier?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
There being nothing further to come before the court is in recess. Have a good day, Mr. Huffman.
Thanks, you too.
And the next case is Bailey Jefferson Farrell. Bailey Jefferson Farrell. And court makes inquiry. I see, I don't see Bailey Jefferson Farrell present. And subsequently, the court orders bond forfeiture bench warrant. And the court does order a doubling of the bond. The court doubles the bond from $1,000, excuse me, from $500 cash or surety to $1,000 cash or surety bond. And anything further, Mr. Regier?
Not for me, Your Honor.
There being nothing further to come before the court is in recess. Next case on docket, State of Kansas versus Jesse Lee, Eugene Joyner, 23 CR 439. And good afternoon, Mr. Joyner.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Joyner, you are charged by way of information in count 1 on or about March 1, 2022 in Butler County, Kansas with possession of opiate with intent to distribute, which is a level 3 drug felony. That is the only charge pending against you. And do you understand the charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Joyner, you do have the right to counsel. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed to represent you. Are you currently employed?
I work for my mother. I take care of her at home for All Saints.
Okay. Do you earn a salary or wage?
Yeah, it's like 12.25 or something like that an hour.
And approximately how many hours do you receive?
18 to 24.
Based on part-time employment at approximately $12 an hour, the court finds you do not have the financial wherewithal to retain an attorney, and the court does appoint Jim Watts to represent you at all stages of the proceedings.
Who
Jim
was that?
Watts is, pardon me?
Jim Watts, you said? Jim?
Jim Watts, Watts. His phone number is 316-452-5640. 316-452-5640. Jim Watts. The court sets your next appearance date. This would be before Judge Satterfield, and that would be on for felony preliminary hearing control docket Monday, December 26, 2023 at 2:30. Monday, December 26, 2023 at 2:30. You do need to be present by Zoom hearing at that time. The next item of business is to set appropriate bond. Mr. Joyner was summoned in this date, and the court makes inquiry to Mr. Regier and the state. Is there any objection based on Mr. Joyner's appearance, the court ordering an OR bond? Mr. Regier.
Your Honor, given that the defendant does appear to be present today on summons, the state has no objection to an OR bond. The state would respectfully suggest that a relatively high amount is appropriate, and therefore the state is recommending an OR bond in the amount of $10,000, as well as all standard conditions, including no contact with illegal drugs. In reviewing the or rather, in my understanding of this case, this defendant does have at least one prior traffic conviction, as well as a prior conviction of purchase or possession of an alcoholic substance by a minor. Additionally, my understanding is this defendant does have at least some history of failing to appear, most recently within the last 2 years in 2022.
Thank you, Mr. Regier. You are clairvoyant. You read my mind. I think those are the exact orders that the court should make. And the court does order a $10,000 OR bond on your own recognizance. You'll be able to sign your own bond, Mr. Joyner. And subsequently, the conditions of that bond are the denoted bond conditions that Mr. Regier placed on the record. That is the order of the court. And I'll just make inquiry to Jared. Where should Mr. Joyner go to sign that OR bond?
He'll go to the jail, but if Chris wants to stick us in a breakout room, I can get that set up.
Okay, immediately after your hearing, Mr. Joyner, I'll ask Chris, my administrative assistant, to place you and court security into a breakout room so we can get information for your OR bond.
Okay, and what does that mean, though? That means I just go out there to sign a paper or what?
Well, I think this may be able to be accomplished by Zoom here today.
Okay, yeah, because if I need to go down to the courthouse, I can meet someone down there.
Okay, I'll let you discuss that
All right.
with
Yes, sir.
court security. There being nothing further, court is in recess, and it'll take just a moment for Chris, my AA, to put you into the position of a breakout room.
Your Honor,
Yes.
given that the defendant does, in this case, does appear to be appearing on summons today, there may also be an issue of booking. I do not know at this time whether that is currently outstanding or not.
The court does order booking by court services if that is available by this Zoom hearing. If not, Mr. Joyner, you'll be advised by court security as to where and what to do.
Okay.
Okay, I need you to hit the join button, Mr. Joyner.
All right.
And next case is State of Kansas versus Lauren Moran Ginsburg, 22 CR 196. And good afternoon, Miss Moran.
Good
Miss
afternoon.
Moran, can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Miss Moran, you are charged with being in violation of the terms and conditions of your probation, in that you have failed to contact your intensive supervision officer with community corrections as ordered. And at the time that the warrant to show cause was filed, your whereabouts were unknown. On September 1, 2023, you were discharged from Miracles inpatient. You admitted to using and bringing methamphetamine into the facility and offering the same to others. And Miss Ginsburg, do you understand the nature and reason for your appearance here today?
Yes, I understand.
Miss Ginsburg, you do have the right to counsel. If you could not afford an attorney, one would be appointed to represent you. Are you currently employed?
No.
How long has it been since you worked?
A couple months.
Do you have money put back to retain an attorney?
No, Your Honor.
The court appoints Joe Favre to represent you at all stages of the proceedings. Joe Favre was previously appointed to represent you, and he's currently appointed to represent you in this warrant to show cause matter. The court sets this matter on actually my warrant to show cause docket, and it would be on Friday, December 15, 2023 at 2:30 by Zoom. Friday, December 15, 2023 at 2:30 by Zoom. Friday, December 15, 2023, 2:30 by Zoom. You do need to be present by Zoom hearing at that time. So the court has approved your bond that you have posted. Counsel's been appointed. Your next date has been set. The court does adopt all of the conditions of probation as set forth in the appearance bond. And any other matters to come before the court, Mr. Regier?
Not that I'm aware of, Judge.
Ms. Ginsburg, I do find your address on the bond to be 10,039 Southeast 20th, Roselia, Kansas 67132. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you're at 785-531-2176. Is that correct?
No, it's changed actually.
What is your current phone number?
316-670-7788.
That was 7788.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, 316-370-7788. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, I think we've got you down correctly, and you know how to get a hold of Mr. Favre?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay, I do order you to do that after this hearing. But first thing I order you to do is to get a hold of your intensive supervision officer. Is that Miss Ashenfelter?
Yes, Your Honor. I've already contacted her today.
Okay. Did she ask you to contact her after this hearing?
No, but I was planning to.
Go ahead. That's the order of the court. Recontact Miss Ashenfelter in regards to these dates and times and what she expects you to do on community corrections. And you know how to get a hold of Mr. Fabre.
Yes, Your Honor.
There being nothing further, court is in recess, and have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
Jared, we made it through another first appearance.
It would appear so, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, good.